Hi, mentally struggling black man here, and welcome to a new series on the channel called Retail Woes. Since I spend 8 to 9 hours a day working at a grocery store, I might as well try to get some content out of it. So these will mainly consist of me ranting about a specific topic in association to it. Maybe you guys can relate, or just think what I'm saying is funny. Either way, hope you guys enjoy the next few minutes of my bullshit. Customers can be the best and worst parts about working in retail. As a stalker, you're in a unique position to where you don't always have to interact with them. But when you do, you're typically asked questions about where things are around the store, how much your product is, and the dreaded "could you check in the back" question. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and say no, we don't have more in the back. If what you're shopping for isn't either a frozen item or meat related, then what you see in the section is what you get. We spend most of our time finding ways to put out as much backstock as possible since our stockroom isn't any bigger than a garage, and we need as much space as we can get. Even if there is a time where we do have more of something you want in the back, depending on how you ask will decide whether I check or not, and by that I mean if you start your question by saying "excuse me" or "sir," then sure, maybe I'll go check, to be courteous. But if you call me bruh, then proceed to ask your question, the answer will always be no. Then the thing that made me realize how inconsiderate customers can be was their handling of carts. There are two types of people in the world. The ones that place their carts into the cart holder in the parking lot outside, and then the ones that do this. You have to be one lazy motherfucker to do this. Firstly, it's ghetto as shit, and secondly, it's a hazard. It can end up hitting someone's car, and depending on where you leave it, it can take up a parking space. You spend maybe 20 minutes pushing it around in the store, but can't take 10 seconds to roll it in the cart holder? Stuff like this is why we end up losing carts. And the less carts we have, the more frequent our cart roundups have to be. Oh wow, if all I had to do to get paid is get carts all day, then I wouldn't be complaining. Bitch, if all I had to do was sit at home and collect unemployment, I wouldn't be complaining. Shut the fuck up. Sometimes you get customers that try to pull you aside and have a deep talk with you. You guys know the ones. Hey young brother, you gotta get out of here. This is why you gotta stay in school, stop working for the white man, and invest and get a 401k. My brother in Christ, you're no better off than I am. And the fact of the matter is, I work here because it's convenient and helps me save gas. I have a degree, and quite frankly, I don't want life advice from a person with a gold grill and $40 on their EBT card. Lastly, I have a little PSA to make, so cue the sad music. As a proud black man, there are two things I see that plague the black community: high cholesterol and the ability to read. Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh fans have this problem too, but I never respected them to begin with, so... Fuck. There have been so many times where customers have asked me what aisle something is in. Although I don't mind answering, you need to understand that every aisle in the store has a sign hanging above that lists everything you can find in that aisle. Hell, even if you don't want to look at the sign, at the very least try to find items related to what you're trying to find. Look, in Walmart for example, if I'm trying to find something in electronics, I'm going to go where the TVs are and make my way from there. I know that TVs is an electronical item and what I need to find is going to be somewhere in that area. Quick deduction. But a lot of customers don't have that. Now, I can understand that in certain stores just have really fucked up organization, and that in aisles you have things that don't really go together or make any sense to be in the same place. And that's fine, and you're gonna find places like that. But typically, everything is organized that makes sense to be around the same place, and customers don't even try to think about that when they're shopping, or even make an attempt to look up at the sign. But no, instead they're gonna try to find a stalker, they're gonna come across my black ass, only for me to look up at the sign and tell them where things are, cause even I don't got the shit memorized. I know I've been mostly negative about customers, but sometimes I have some really nice interactions with them, and helping people generally makes me feel good. Dealing with them can be both positive and negative, but so is anything else in the workplace. It really just boils down to whether or not you can tolerate it.